So, as some of you may know, I am Swedish. I am a Swede. I am currently residing in Sweden. And within online politics, there's not a lot of Swedish discourse going on, really. There is one pretty big Swedish channel, which is Angry Foreigner. Angry Foreigner produces a lot of political content, especially related to immigration. So what I did a while back is I made a video debunking one of his videos. And that's this video right here. Debunking Angry Foreigner's awful video on crime in Sweden. Now, this is a 49-minute video. It's pretty long. And to this day, I think this is one of the better videos I've done. The reasons why I think that is that I was clear, I was concise with the presentation aspect, which I thought was pretty good. Furthermore, my fact-checking in this video was really good because I had it laid out for me, basically, right? So most of the rebuttals when it came to fact-checking from this video didn't have so much to do with like finding other sources which contradict what they're saying or bringing in like more nuance or whatever. Most of it, literally all I had to do was just go to his source and like read the whole thing. So some particularly like egregious examples which I noted was, for example, during multiple times in this video, he would use clips from a Swedish segment or like a TV show or like a documentary or whatever. And while he was translating the Swedish video to English for the viewer, he would mistranslate a number of things. One of them being, for example, him conflating white women and Swedish women, which is pretty yikes, if you ask me. Another example we had was that towards the end, he uses an article, this one right here. He had a little newspaper article here. Police do not have time to investigate shootings in Stockholm. Looks like he's clipped it properly. There are hard priorities. First part of the first paragraph, last autumn, first part of the second paragraph. Would you look at that? I looked at the whole article and there's a third paragraph here that he clipped out. So he just edited out a paragraph, basically. So a week ago, about a week and like 4 days, I sent him an email. And I was like, very, very polite. I'm not going to read the exact email word for word because I don't want to go over, don't want to talk about like private email exchanges like this. I will summarize them though, and I can probably talk about my emails and read them more word to word. But basically, start my email. Good evening, Angry Foreigner. My name is Roserist. I'm a progressive political content creator from Sweden. One of the topics I frequently touch on is immigration, both because it's an issue of contemporary relevance and also because I'm from Sweden and that's all anyone ever knows about our politics. My viewers have frequently suggested I have a discussion with you on the topic. I've watched a few of your videos and I have a feeling we may disagree quite a bit on how it should be handled. You often talk about how there's a lack of Swedes, especially progressive ones, willing to discuss issues surrounding immigration and what we should do about it. I, however, am perfectly willing to do so, and as such, I'm extending you an invitation to come onto my stream to discuss this topic with me anytime. Here's a link to my YouTube channel for your information. Hope you take me up on my offer, Rose. Professional email? Very polite, very cool. Now, the thing I mentioned in the second paragraph is because Angry Foreigner often peddles this idea that like, oh, nobody wants to talk about the issues of immigration in Sweden. And these left-wingers, they cannot handle this because if they talk about immigration, they're just going to call everything racist. That's a big like narrative that he spins through his videos. So I was trying to like capitalize on that a bit, like, hey, I'm ready to talk about this, so let's talk about it. I was going to ask my editor to go through some of his videos and find some clips and some examples of this. But funnily enough, my editor, she physically couldn't do it. And I quote, "I'm sorry. It's just I don't have the patience you do, man. I feel like shooting myself in the foot." So we're gonna have a nice little segment, nice little clip there, but my editor wasn't capable of going through their videos. They said it was the Joker complex that got to her, so she wasn't able to carry out on that task. So I sent this fairly polite email to Angry Foreigner. I'm expecting a nice response back, okay? And what I'm met with is probably one of the funniest emails I have received in my entire life. And it goes something like this. So, hey, if you would have appeared to be like somewhat reasonable, maybe I would have considered it. But your garbage shit video where you incorrectly label me as far right and regular, left-wing tendencies and then continue with, factual errors makes me think different. I'm plenty aware that there are small, uninteresting YouTubers who want to use, my platform to gain prominence or whatever. So for those of you who speak Swedish, the words he used was ur kassa skitvideo, which is basically like completely garbage shit video is basically like somewhat what that translates to. Going back to what he mentioned here, I call him a right winger, far right winger. I rewatched my video to make sure I wasn't mistaken. And the only thing I mention is at the very beginning of my video, I mentioned once, I said that he produces far right content. I didn't say he was far right. I'm not labeling him. I'm labeling the effect his content has on his audience. And I mentioned this once in the entirety of the video, okay? And I would defend that, right? Because even though he may not be far right, I don't care what he is. The way the effect his content has is it feeds into the political narratives of far right-wing groups. And because of that, effectively, the effect he's having on his audience is a far-right effect. You know, he's pushing them towards the Sweden Democrats as a political party, for example. So that's why I label him that. And he got really mad about that. Now, to prove to me that he's not far right, he sends me this. And after this, I don't know what I can say. I think I've been defeated. I think I need to roll back my YouTube career because I have made an assumption so wrong that I can never recover from this. Then he links me a video where he argues with like a ethnic national, like an ethnostater. So like, congratulations, you're not an ethnostater. That was, you know, the bar was on the floor, but you passed it, so fair enough. As you can see, I'm not a right-wing extremist, for example. And I don't want to platform people who, you know, lie on purpose. And now here is probably the funniest things that I've ever seen in an email ever. If this was an honest mistake on your part, I'm willing to agree on a debate on one condition. You make a public apology YouTube video where you make sure that they're aware of the error you made in your original video, and you encourage your audience to stop labeling people as right-wing, as extremists, as fascists. So this 230k YouTuber, whatever, got so like ass pain about one comment I made in a video from like 5 months ago that he wants me to make a public apology. So it's a phenomenal meme there. And then he says, after that, I can weigh having you on a live stream on my channel, but it might take a while. That was quite the email, okay? And no like good evening, good whatever, no like regards, you know, angry foreigner or anything, just paragraphs, okay? So not very courteous there, okay? I'm a big fan of civility politics, all right? I respond, hey Harris, I don't know what video of mine you watch, but your description sure as hell does not fit mine. I made a grand total of 0 statements in my video in which I give you a political label. The closest thing I get to doing anything of the sort is that at one point I say that you produce far-right content, not that you are far-right, an extremist, or a fascist. This is a statement I would defend. That video, and many others of yours, perfectly fits into the narratives and political groups I would label as far-right. However, if this bothered you oh so much, I can cut it out of the video, but an apology is hardly warranted for one offhand comment. As for factually incorrect elements of my video, I find none. In fact, beyond representing all information to the full extent of my knowledge, I was extremely conservative in a lot of my statements during the video. I'm reminded of a couple of times you make a statement I intuitively believe is untrue. However, due to the fact that I'm unable to find either validating nor falsifying information about this claim, I just say that it's entirely possible for this to be true, despite me intuitively believing the contrary. As for other general patterns of factual analysis, most of it was based on sources or events you discuss in your own video, in which I provide broader context or just translate it accurately. I was also exceedingly charitable in my video. On multiple occasions, I end up agreeing with your descriptive analyses. Some more factual examples include the white flight is prevalent, immigrants are vastly overrepresented in crime statistics, and foreign travel agencies have warned about crime in Sweden. But beyond these factual claims, I also agreed on a number of more ideological ones, such as the Sweden image is more important than the Swedish reality, and Swedes have an attitude of self-righteousness and progressive elitism. These are just a few examples. This charitability hardly seems like the work of an ideologue who is interested in misframing the opposition. After reading your email, I am left with 3 possibilities. 1. You watched the wrong video and genuinely believed it was mine. 2. You have awful media literacy. 3. You're looking for an excuse to dodge the debate. The only superseding claim in your reply email was that I'm a small YouTuber trying to leech off you. To this I say, fair enough. There's no way for me to prove to you that this is not the case. And if you're going to let your pride get in the way of having a good faith discussion, then so be it. It just seems duplicitous of you to push a narrative of nobody wants to talk about these issues when you're so quick to dismiss people who clearly go to a lot of effort to have these discussions with you. Who knows, we may end up agreeing on more than we think. Regards, Rose. So that's the email I sent back. I sent that back 8 days ago. No reply. I don't think I'm going to get a reply. On top of this, there's also a little funny, interesting thing that happened on Twitter. And there's this. That's also pretty interesting. He blocked me. I haven't even tweeted anything at him. This is just a little bit of a behind the scenes look as for what's going on and why I'm not going to be debating Angry Foreigner by the way it seems right now. This is an embarrassing display of, number one, just general like civility when it comes to just having like civil exchanges, you know, when it comes to like professional matters, but also when it comes to the duplicitous image he pushes on his YouTube channel. He's been saying for years nobody wants to talk about this, you know, all the lefties, the progressive, they're so scared, they're snowflakes, they can't deal with this, they just call everything racist. As soon as I reach out to him, I lend him a hand, he slaps it away, says my video is a complete garbage, and says he wants a public apology, and then he'll consider having me on. This is extremely duplicitous and is frankly laughable, which is why I've had this smile on my face for this entire video. If you end up seeing this, Angry Foreigner, I'm still willing to have a debate, okay? And if I made any statements within this video where I say that, you know, oh, he won't debate or whatever, I'll make a video, I'll be like, hey, I was wrong, Angry Foreigner will debate me, so I'll make my little public apology, and then I'll announce the debate as well. This is an extreme act of cowardice, in my opinion, and is laughable. It's really funny. The political compass test, the public apology, you know, the way he talked about my video, it's truly it's hilarious, to be honest. But yeah, that's the some information on the exchange I've been having behind the scenes on Angry Foreigner.